District address you. This is an unlawful procession as no permit has been issued. I now prohibit the holding of this procession and direct that you take no further part in the procession. Any persons continuing in procession on any carriageway or footpath will be committing an offence.
I can whisper and I can sing, but I was born to this world hollering. If I can't be heard talking, I'm gonna shout, but nothing on earth will drown me out. Listen, there's a lot I got to see.
In early August 1977, uranium demonstrators held a 3-day picket at Hamilton Wharf in Brisbane, acting on information given to them by railway workers about an impending shipment of uranium. The ecology organisation Friends of the Earth called the demonstration. The picket lasted 3 days and culminated in police attacking demonstrators standing on railway tracks in order to stop the shipment going through. Three people were arrested after the shipment had been held up for 4 hours.
He's a man that you can talk to, a man that you can trust.
Following a demonstration against Fraser's uranium decision, the Premier of Queensland issued an edict that the day of the political street march was over. Immediately, a meeting of civil rights protagonists was held and called a forum at the University of Queensland. 250 people attended the forum, and the decision was made to march to the public rally organised around trade union rights. On the following day, the 7th of September, more than 400 students attempted to march from the University of Queensland to Roma Street Forum. They were stopped at the end of the university grounds by 200 police. They dispersed and continued to the rally by other means.
We shall not be moved. We will stand and fight together.
200 waterside workers marched on the footpath without police intervention through the city to the rally where 5,000 people were massed to protest the erosion of trade union and civil rights.
The government responded quickly and rushed through Parliament amendments to the Traffic Act that abolished the right of appeal to magistrates against police refusal of march permits.
Came to power, he didn't suddenly put blanket cells, become a victim of this. And it's the aim of this movement.
At a meeting of 700 people, an Open Civil Liberties Coordinated Committee was formed and a march was planned for September the 22nd. On that day, over 800 protesters marched from the University of Queensland and once again were blocked by a large mass of some 300 police.
Join the march! Fight Joe! Join the march! Fight Joe! Join the march! Fight Joe!
Those persons taking part in this procession are participating in an unlawful procession as no permit has been issued by the District Superintendent of Traffic for holding a procession on this road on this date. I, Superintendent of Traffic for the State of Queensland, do now prohibit the holding of this procession, and I direct all persons taking part in this unlawful procession to discontinue doing so forthwith and to disperse.
I can whisper and I can sing, but I was born to this world hollow.
And they continued to the city square via the footpath.
Drown me out. Listen, there's a lot I got to see, or I'll shout it till you hear me anyway. I was born to this world like everyone, with a hungry belly to drive me on. I was born to this world like everyone else, with my own two.
A rally of 2,000 people in City Square was surrounded by 700 uniformed and 100 plainclothes police.
I think we should move on very shortly. We're now by John Lewis.
Demonstrators were attacked by police while sitting on the steps of the square. 32 people were arrested. 5 of the arrests were women who were stripped in jail, which was later denied by police. The activity was not confined to Brisbane. In provincial centres there were already anti-uranium organisations. At this time, Right to March groups were founded.
It is a peaceful demonstration, and all reasons that they may have put forward for it being any otherwise are hereby proved to be invalid.
In Toowoomba, a regional city of Queensland, a rally was held in one of the parks in support of the right to march. No violence occurred.
In many ways in Toowoomba for 20 years or more. And there has never been a violent demonstration of any kind in Toowoomba.
The Toowoomba Right to March group, which organised the rally, later issued a press release which stated in part, quote, "Peaceful rally ringed by police." After several other speeches which we had insufficient tape to record, the rally ended quietly and the police were able to leave after what must have been a hot, stuffy time in their bus and cars.
In Brisbane, a further march was planned for October 12th. Students and staff started a march from Queensland University to City Square. At the blockade of 400 police at the entrance of the university, the march parted and walked in small groups, joining a meeting of 1,000 people at 5 p.m. An open forum was held to discuss further attacks on civil and trade union rights. A request for permission to march was made to the police and was refused. The meeting then voted to sit down on the steps of City Square, where it was confronted by 700 police for 3 hours. During this time, police trampled on seated people and confiscated speaking equipment being used to address the meeting. 8 people were arrested.
Early in 1977, a national conference of anti-uranium organisations proposed a national day of mobilisation for October 22nd. In Queensland, applications for permits to march in Brisbane, Toowoomba, Nambour and Townsville were rejected by police chiefs. The Anti-Uranium Mobilisation Committee, consisting of the Campaign Against Nuclear Power, the Civil Liberties Coordinating Committee, the Uranium Moratorium, various church groups and the Friends of the Earth organisation, proposed a rally and march. In Sydney, 20,000 protesters assembled and marched down George Street to Hyde Park in the presence of 20 police. There were no arrests. In Melbourne, 10,000 protesters assembled in the city square and marched to the Trades Hall. There were no arrests.
In Brisbane, 5,000 people attended the rally in City Square. There were over 700 police present. A motion which proposed that people walk in 2s and 3s on the footpath around city streets was put and carried. However, this was blocked by a large contingent of police, some carrying batons.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union mates
shall run. There can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? But the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. It is we who plowed the prairies, built the cities where they trade, dug the mines and built the workshops, endless miles of railroad laid. Now we stand outcast and starving mid the wonders we have made, but the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. They have taken untold millions.
People regrouped in the square and a proposal to march as an act of civil disobedience was passed. The protesters lined up on the steps and marched into Albert Street, some with arms in the air. Altogether, 418 people were arrested.
Fight together, we shall not be moved. We will stand and fight together, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the water, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the water. White together, we shall not be moved. We are black and white together, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the water, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the water.
While the 418 people arrested in the anti-uranium demonstration on October 22nd discuss in the park beside the courts how to approach their cases, police give them orders to move onto the roadway in front of the court so as to facilitate the quick processing of defendants. In the confusion, Special Branch Police arrested one demonstrator and another two for inquiring what the first was to be charged with. To prevent further police harassment, the demonstrators moved back into the park.
Always the right to march. Always the right to march. Always. What do we want? Always. What do we want?
We are recommending that you go into court, ask that the charges be read, say to the magistrate when he asks you what's your plea, say not guilty and I want a hearing date, and then simply leave it at that. All right?
Activities continued during both the state and federal election campaign and climaxed on the eve of the state election on November 11th. The two major forms of activity were pickets and negotiations with the trade union movement by civil rights protagonists. However, the Trades and Labour Council refused to co-sponsor the proposed rally on November 11th. On that day, a rally was held under the slogans "The Right to March" and "The Right to Organise." The rally started at 4:30 p.m. and about 2,000 people attended.
One to broaden out the committee was about this Thursday's activities, and they're mainly to be that there'll be a forum out here at 1 o'clock this coming Thursday.
After an open forum at 6:30 p.m, the proposal to march was put and carried. The marchers were cut off and besieged in Albert Street by police.
Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up.
In all, 197 protesters were arrested. The following day, another peaceful rally was held, and for the second time, speaking equipment was confiscated. Special branch police moved into the demonstration and 5 people were arrested. In Sydney and Melbourne, people demonstrated in support of civil and trade union rights in Queensland. It is interesting to note the Queensland election results showed a 10% swing against the government in the metropolitan areas.
Civil rights movement engaged in forms of protest other than marches in November of 1977. Pickets were held at the Executive Building, Police Headquarters and the Brisbane Jail at Bogger Road.
When you farm, you hold the rifle. When you sleep, you hold the child. When you fight to get a hold on the freedom, I feel stronger when I get to see you smile, but can you?
On the 18th of the same month, a peaceful picket was held to protest the withholding of illegally confiscated speaking equipment by Traffic Branch Police. Placards of legal size, under 610mm square, were impounded by police and 7 protesters were arrested. Police said that the protesters were part of an unlawful procession. While negotiations continued between the Civil Liberties Coordinating Committee and the Trades and Labour Council, a small march of 60 people was conducted around city streets, with only 1 policeman in attendance. There was no police violence. 100 police arrived minutes after the event. The trade union movement accepted the Civil Liberties Coordinating Committee proposal to sponsor a rally on December 3rd. On the morning of December 3rd, Brisbane witnessed the Queen Elizabeth Silver Jubilee Spectacular, organised by Harry M. Miller. The parade involved over 3,000 troops, a display of military might unparalleled in Brisbane since the war. This procession held up Brisbane traffic for more than 2.5 hours. At 10:30, a rally for the right to march and the right to organise was held.
Two things. I will leave you young people. I'm impossible to march. I'm just on 75. Good on that.
After a long discussion, a resolution to march was put and carried overwhelmingly.
The decision is to march.
Further speeches ensued, and at the end of the rally, people marched once again into Albert Street to be encircled by 700 police.
Look, my comrades, see the Union banners waving high. Reinforcements now appearing, victory is nigh. Hold the fort, for we are coming, Union men be strong. Side by side we battle onward, victory.
210 people were arrested.
While people were being arrested in Albert Street, a plainclothes police officer was mistakenly accosted, taken about 5 metres, and then released.